Hi, Jake Light here, gaming lawyer at your service. Well, we are back on this trial. Not much has happened, but I know how to access the court record by pressing E. So, without further ado, we'll start this game. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record and press R to present right now. R.
Yes!
Yes. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. Is that the real thing? Maybe. I'll check it out later. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has spilled on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? But I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient, expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. Yes, he is an Englishman. He is a British. He's from England. Yes. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd be better going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Sorry, I was blanking out this and I don't watch. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's visiting a professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. Why should I be doing that? Isn't that the prosecutor's job? The cause of death? Well, obviously that was Ryonosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find a piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now. This or this?
Yes!
Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report, which the prosecutor should be reading it. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of these later. This is so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this post-mortem scientific evidence into the record. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. Let's check it out. Examine it. Magnifying glass. Oh, I can magnify. Now, can I? Is there something I would see? Is hair? What's over here? Is this a hole? No, I don't think so. What stick is it? Medium rare? No. Is it? No. Can't tell. It's all black and white. Yeah, this is what, 1920s? Okay, never mind. I can't find anything. There's a button here. Nah, I can't tell anything. Yeah, never mind. Back. It's clearly superior to a drawing. Its detail is incredible. Very well, I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotaba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asuki must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in it, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Yeah, that crazy headband is moving without any wind blowing. Must be the murderer. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course, my name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital South's eastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood, Osonaga-san. You will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, aspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. of the day in question. We have a few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it too. There was hardly anyone else in the place, so the waiter must be the murderer! It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Yes! Hold on, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, defended Naruto. Don't worry, Inosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. Ugh. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and a university student. Huh? Wait. What did he just say? There was no one else around the table? What's the matter, Ryonosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? It's not just something the waiter could have missed. The waiter is the woman! I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Interject!
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson was alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure what I saw. Also, Naga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. Well, because the waiter is lying. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look at you like to. 厨房入口. Yes, I know Chinese. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. Okay. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. Okay, sorry. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course, here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Are you dying? Something certainly seems to have stricken him. The waiter's business card has been entered into the court record. It is obvious. What? Let me go check. So, the court has now heard a precis of the case. Let's check it out. Examine it. Wait, sorry. Examine it. Magnifying glass. Why can't I check the back? I guess the back is important. Oh, maybe this is something? Maybe. So, the court has now heard a precis of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I call this waiter as a sworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? You should just admit guilty. Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Will it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Are you kidding me? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You've said it. Professor Mikotaba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. I'm afraid of dying. What? As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then the defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove their innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. Oof! The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Ochi, please continue with Ochi. Please continue with proceedings. Tis, well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silent forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well, officer, bring forth the witnesses at once. Angular man and witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iesa Nosa reporting for duty, sir. Okay, the name is Yes, sir, no, sir. Okay, creative. I compliment that. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Ratsute, a humble premises in the 2nd district, Curio Korekuta. Curator. Curator. Okay. At your service. At your service. An antique dealer and a soldier, what an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present in the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take the tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curious with which I make business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. Me too. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniform rogue infantryman. Oh, what was that sound? Over there who unloaded his firearm, sir. This man is as impossible to understand as the other. But I am almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. Yes, a baby who cried. So, this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Yes, sir. Sir. Standing by ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regular beef steak at a restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniform varsity cadet fired on an English civilian, and from the back, the a cowardly little fat weasel, and here we have the contradiction. I was on my hands and knees investigating whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Ooh, someone stole his stuff. Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed this vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir, affirmative. Yes, sir, affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What the hell do you have a shots on for? What time do we live in when an Englishman gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day? But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Inosuke? Yes. All I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. After I'd said hello to the Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, bang! If it's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who the criminal was. Fun fact, you can't have two witnesses standing together. There is... You can't have two witnesses giving testimony at the same time. Is this... I have no idea why that is. Okay, Inosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine. Do it now. As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubting the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of... Yes! Is that all you can say? Yes? What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I mean the defense demands its right to cross-examination. Dear me, let me guess, the Hachimaki Pet Band boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Good. Kazuma is so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Inosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in the cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive, indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Inosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright then, it's all for or nothing. Okay. Great time to stop. And yeah. Thanks for watching. Hope you are enjoying this playthrough of Great Ace Attorney. And yeah, I will be seeing you next. So take care. Be hopeful, be hopeful, but stay critical. Bye bye.